Dear friend, my name is Samuel Ayim of CTL Africa Leadership, and I would like to invite you to our free weekly webinar, The Leadership Platform. The Leadership Platform is your space for learning everything leadership and personal development. We have been holding the Leadership Platform for the last 3.5 years every week, and thousands of leaders from all walks of life have benefited from the rich lessons from experienced leaders. As the year goes on, we are going to bring you even more enriching content. We're going to have a session called Leaders Are Readers, where every month we will bring you a book that all participants will be encouraged to read. We will share the summary of those lessons for you to guide you. We will also bring you a session on meeting with a CEO, where we will bring an experienced CEO from any industry to share their story and their lessons as leaders. Again, we will bring you the extraordinary leadership stories, where we scout out for emerging entrepreneurs and leaders doing extraordinary things in different fields to inspire you to do better. And of course, we will bring you the normal topics in leadership and personal development that would enrich your leadership. So I hope you make a date with us, CTL Africa, every Saturday, 7 p.m. on the Leadership Platform, live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. On our YouTube, you can also check some of the previous lessons for free. Make a date with us, CTL Africa, on the Leadership Platform, this and every Saturday at 7 p.m. Hello. Good evening and welcome to the Leadership Platform. My name is Samuel Ayim and I'm excited to be with you this evening on the Leadership Platform because we are going to learn, we are going to grow, we are going to be energized, equipped to do greater things than we have been doing so far. So welcome to the Leadership Platform. The team is ready and our speaker is ready. Today being the first Saturday of the month, we have a time with the CEO, and we have an amazing CEO who is going to share his story with us. But before we go there, let me share a few announcements. Number one, the growth journey is on. We have the current cohort 8 running, and we are open for cohort 9. We take 15 people on a journey these days for 10 weeks, where we lead you through the laws of growth to help you to be intentional about your growth as a person and as a leader, because all the contribution you can bring to the world depends on how you can develop yourself. You cannot give what you don't have. So please sign up for the growth journey and join like-minded people who are learning and growing. The environment is very important. Do you have an environment that affirms your growth? Catch that. Number 2, Live to Lead Early Bird is open. Live to Lead is our annual leadership conference, which has so far brought together more than 4,000 leaders in Ghana But across the world, Live to Lead, which is a John Maxwell leadership event, has touched hundreds of thousands of people across the world. Every year, Live to Lead is held in 300 plus locations. And the past 7 years, we've held Live to Lead in Ghana, bringing amazing speakers to share leadership lessons. So we are on early bird. It's on October 8th. So if you don't have the money, just start saving, prepare yourself till October the 4th, when Live to Lead will be brought to you. In the meantime, please introduce yourself, tell us where you're coming from, and we will be very happy to announce you to the whole wide world. Right, so for now, I can see Kwame JB is here. Kwame, you are welcome from the United Kingdom. Great to be back. All right. I see Fred Asare from Village of Hope, Omuafete. My brother, thank you so much for joining from your village. And you have your good friend going to share his life story with us. Thank you for giving us the lead. We have Bright Binding. Bright is from Legon. He's here. I have Onyamitiasi Jacob Tete joining us from Somenya. Jacob, you're welcome. I have Isaac Ayukukwashi, who is joining us from Tanzania. Thank you so much, Reverend, for joining us. I have Confidence Akapuni is here from Koforidia. All right, Elizabeth Otu is here and excited to be with us. And I have Inusa Ajayi from Cotonou, Rosalind Platt from Accra, Jemima Mensah from Accra, and I have Obuating. Hey, this name there, something, Veronica Bedu from Bawe. All right, thank you so much. I have Jojo Ajiman Whitney is here. I have his name is Wire James. I hope I got that correct. Joining from Uganda, Kampala. Thank you so much for joining. I have Gedeme Edem Fiakrom from Swedro is here. I have Lamte Anthony from Accra, and Ebenezer Ufusuhine is here from Kumasi. I have Kwamak Nkrumah is joining us from Accra, and many, many more joining. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. And as we are learning, please share your learning, share your takeaways, share your questions. Today, we have an amazing personality who is going to do us the honors, because it's going to be a time with the CEO. I'm not going to spend the time reading his profile. All I want to tell you is that he's an amazing personality. He's a chartered accountant, chartered insurance, tax professional, a farmer, a chief farmer at that, a married man with children, and a strong Christian. And I want to welcome, we just share a quick video to welcome him for you to see quickly what his background is. And then I would invite my good friend, Kwaku Yeboah-Asuamah, onto the stage. All right, let's watch this.
He is a 58-year-old farmer
with over 30 years of diverse expertise in insurance, accounting, and strategy formulation.
Practicing agriculture for the past 20 years and is married with 3 children. His farming enterprise is named Discoveries Farms, located at Pramposo and Amoma. His farming enterprise has 17 full-time workers and 300 casual workers. As part of his social responsibility to his community, the farm took many initiatives, including provision of input credits to smallholder farmers within the Amoma community enclave, provided an apprentice training platform to train young females in agricultural production in the community. He has won 2 district awards, including the 2011 Best District Farmer and the 2009 Best District Mango Farmer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kwaku Yeboah-Asuamah.
Great. My good brother and my friend, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the leadership platform. The team and I want to thank you for availing yourself of your time to share your story with us this evening. You are welcome.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you very much.
Great. We will just kick in straight. You are the CEO of miLife. Now, I say all the time, sometimes when people hear CEO, they think that the CEO fell from some sky, and when he was coming, he couldn't come down and he got to the top and he doesn't know what is going on underground. Now, tell us a bit about your role, your position as CEO of miLife, and a brief about miLife. What is miLife and your role in miLife?
Sammy, thanks so much. miLife is one of the insurance companies, and we are into long-term insurance. In insurance, we have 2 types. We have the short-term insurance, they deal with motor, fire, marine, and those things. And then we have life, and we provide life insurance to Ghanaians, and that is long-term because you can be on the policy for 10 years, 20 years, 5 years, so it's long-term. Basically, we look at covering you for funeral, for total permanent disability, and for other things that we suffer in life. So we give you that cover so that in case of any difficulty, you can fall on. So basically, that is what miLife does. And I'm the chief servant of the company. So I lead in terms of our strategy direction, mobilizing people to produce results. Yes, that is my role as chief executive officer. And also, in my role as a chief executive officer, I serve as a liaison between the shareholders, the board of directors, and then the staff. But basically, I lead management and staff in producing results. So basically, that is what I do.
Great. Thank you so much. I mean, just a quick one, because a lot of us don't really appreciate insurance, and they think that, oh, why should I go and put my money in insurance? And, by the way, this life thing, if I die, people are going to enjoy it. I mean, just a quick education for people who think that insurance is not important in life, in business, and so on, just for us to appreciate.
Well, in life, there are many things we don't control. They can happen anytime in your life. One of them is you could lose your job. You could also have what we call total permanent disability, a disability that will stop you from working. And what we all don't want to talk about, you could also lose your life. If any of these happens, there's going to be a problem. You are a family person, you have a spouse, you have children, you love them so much. And if you do love them, if anything happens to you, your love for them should not be affected. If you were providing for them and touch wood, something happens, you should be able to do that to show your love. So what insurance does is to come in and provide a cushioning for you so that even in event of any difficulty, you still could have money to handle those things you love to do for your family. So in summary, that is how I'll put it. And as we all know, every day we hear people, dying through accident, people getting their legs amputated, all sort of things happen. We don't control these things. And what we need to do is to manage the impact. The risk associated with life, we need to manage them. So if they happen, we know that there is something we can follow.
Great, guys. So many things in life we don't control, and insurance is there to fill in the gap for us. And Mr. Yeboah-Asuamah is a chief servant, one of the big insurance companies. So if you are in need of any insurance, please see me. Just pay me some small commission, and I will link you up to Mr. Asuamah. But we will move on from the top and come down. We want to look at. We want to start from the beginning. I mean, I'm sure
All
that
right.
some of the staff are listening and they are watching. So we want to start from the beginning. And we got hold of a nice picture. I just want us to look at the picture, then we will start a conversation around that. So, guys, let's see that beautiful picture. Voila. Just keep it on the screen for a while. All right. So if you enlarging it, I mean, one of the things that is very clear to me, at least from my perspective, is that all the people here, nobody is wearing a shoe. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'm noting on this picture. Just show the other one. Let's see if we can see Mr. Asuamah in this picture. Let's see. The, he's somewhere. Okay, there's another one where we've pointed him out there. All right. Yes, he's somewhere inside that picture. All right. Maybe you can't see it well, but anyway, if you give us something small, we'll come and show it to you in your house. All right. Now, guys, just internalize this picture and let's come to Kwaku to tell us. Please, just start from the beginning. Where do you hail from? Where were you born? Tell us a bit about your family background and where you started from.
Okay, I'm from a village, or let me say a town, in the Kindambo South district called Amoma. Originally, I'm from Pamdu, but that is where we've lived all these years. So I often say I'm from Amoma, and it's a community, small community. These days it's grown a bit, bigger. In those days I was there, it was a very small community. You almost knew everybody in the town, and if any stranger walked into the town, you could tell this person is not from Amoma. So that is where I grew up, and I had my basic education there. When I left there, I was just leaving for secondary education. That was where I was born and bred. I live with my parents. My mom and my dad, they are all, deceased now. My dad died in 2016 and my mom 2019. So I just have my siblings with me. We are seven. I'm the firstborn, and then I have six after me. One man, and then five women. So that is the family.
Good. So tell us a bit. I mean, we saw that picture. When was that picture taken?
The picture was my P4, what we call P4, primary four picture.
Which means you were around age 10,
Yes,
9,
yes.
10, depending
My
on where you
teacher
were.
was,
Maybe you went to school at 9. At what age did you start
it was
school?
the data. My teacher was in the middle with his children, two ladies by him. And then we had three other teachers joining. Look at the back
Yeah.
there, you will see three teachers there. But
Maybe
then the
what you
entire
guys
class,
want to show the
everybody
picture.
was barefooted.
Yes.
Nobody had the luxury of wearing a shoe.
Mm-hmm.
P4, and I think we did this up to about pieces. Pieces there are
Okay.
about few people got. I remember when I was made what
Okay, we can take it off.
JP,
Uh-huh.
junior prefect.
Oh, you were
That was
junior prefect.
junior prefect when I was in pieces. And that was
Wow.
when I think I started wearing shoes to school. It was
Why you didn't want to
not
wear
good.
shoes, or you didn't want to wear
No, we
shoes, or
didn't have
what?
it. And they will buy you one that is your Christmas shoe, and you dare not wear it for school.
But what did your
Once in a
parents
while, you
do?
pick
What was the parents? What did your father and mother do?
my father was a tailor, but later on, when I was growing up, he stopped that profession and started farming. So both
No.
parents were farming.
Okay.
And shoes were meant for special occasions like Christmas, Easter, church. So once you get one shoe, you would have to respect. In fact, they keep it for you and they release it for you. So you just can't have it. I mean, these days you buy a shoe for your child, he takes it to school, he will use that shoe to play football. He'll come the next day, it's spoiled, and you have to go and buy. They did not allow
But I
that.
don't know.
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
So they'll keep it. Church
Hmm.
time, they will release it for you. Christmas, they will release it for you. So that was how we were using shoes in those days.
Hmm. So how was life at Aboma and those days when you were growing up and
It
so?
was a very simple life. There was a community where everybody, I mean, we were each other's keeper. So somebody is going to farm. Your mom will tell the person, today I can't be in a farm. So when you're coming, bring me some cassava or yam, and it will be brought. When one person lights up a fire in the morning, everybody will come and pick some amber and go and do same. People will come, can I have some salt? Can I have some pepper? And we live together. And if you misbehave, your neighbor will pick you, whip you, and bring you to your mom. This is what your son was doing, and your mom would also beat you. Nobody ever complained. The community was very clean. We wake up in the morning, the women will sweep, and they knew the boundaries. They will sweep up to the boundary. Everybody would do. We kept a very clean community. Food was in abundance. Yam, plantain, everything. You just walk. I mean, you do some few steps, and you are in a garden somewhere, and you can bring in food.
Yeah.
What people did not have then was we didn't have the luxury of these imported chickens that we eat today. They kept eating dry herrings, and then what we call a sour, those small, those were plenty. And fish from Yeji and other places, they buy them. And that was what we were using. Once in a while, they'll get some bush meat and bring them. But Christmas, Easter, or when there's a funeral, then you are sure there will be some goat or some fowls killed, and that was the moment we would enjoy. Sometimes you go up and then just give your hand palm to a friend to smell, to just demonstrate that you had a
That you
good
have
time.
eaten chicken.
Yes. And we were so proud in those days. But Christmas, you're right, and stew with chicken was assured or guaranteed. And then every time we used to have what we call our day. So when we've had our day, then they will come and then we'll announce the results. Your terminal, I mean, is on, we call them roll call. Number one will come and stand, number two will come and stand. And in those days, if you are last, everybody will get to know. And I'm not sure
You
that
are
was
so
the
I can you are so I can think. So I can
yeah, so
think could just
and people go and they don't even want to come to school again. But that was what we were
yeah.
doing. Some were encouraged to learn more because they didn't want to be last. But others who were just not good felt the shame was too much and stopped schooling. So our day, you can get your chicken, you can get something good to eat. Otherwise, when there's
Yeah.
a funeral and we are receiving guests, then also you would enjoy. Um,
Wow.
Rice wasn't a stable, I mean, food at the time. We only ate rice either our day, Christmas, or sometimes a funeral. Otherwise, it's all fufu and pesi, eto, kukunte. No, banku wasn't common then, except when there was a funeral. So there was plenty to eat, but not the type of food we are eating today.
Food that you okay. Now, how did you progress from there, primary school, and there on all the way to secondary school? Where did you continue from?
Well, I see myself as somebody who was good because I was always placed between one either first, second, or third. And
Mm-hmm.
normally they will look at those who are doing well before they can even appoint you to be a junior prefect JP. In those days,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing well. But somehow the village folks were convincing my father to get me to training college. And
Mm.
their reason was simple. People go to secondary school, they end up not having any profession, and they come back and stay in a village. So if you go for, to training college, at least you could be a teacher, and that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad, who had lived in Koforidua, Akropong, in Accra, didn't want to buy into that. He thought
Mm.
secondary education could give me a better career. And I tend to also believe in his vision. So I sat for the common entrance, and I must say I didn't get a very good grade, but
Mm.
I managed to get a school.
Yeah.
I got to Brekum Secondary School, and that was 1982.
Okay.
But when I got there, I realized one thing, that English language wasn't very good, and my teacher called me and said, "You need to read a lot of storybooks." I took it seriously, and I pick a book. I don't want to leave it. Would want to finish it a day. I
Mm-hmm.
spent a lot of time reading, and by the end of the second term, things had gotten better, and
Great.
I was taking the third position, second position. I continuously worked on that until a time that, well, even in English language in those days, O level, people will get 9 and those things. I ended up being one of the top. In fact, I got a distinction, and
Wow.
all my results were very good. And I saw that as something intentional. If you know your shortfall and you work on it, you improve.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I left when second year I left and then continue at Bekwai SDA Secondary School for Form 3, Form 4, and Form 5.
Okay.
From there, as I said, I got distinction. And as you work, when you're doing well in school, the mock and all those things, they guide you in the school to choose. I
Yeah.
was so much in love with Obokuware School. I chose
Mm-hmm.
Obokuware and was admitted to my favorite school, and I went there. And when I got there, the target was to go to business school. And in those days, business school, the least you needed was about six. The
Mm-hmm.
highest you needed
Yeah.
was about
From
4.
A levels.
Yes. And I worked hard to make sure I get admission to business school. And that is exactly what happened. From there, I continue to read business administration in Legon from 1989 to 1992, and then did my service 92, 93.
Great. Now, what kind of, I mean, we know that you were very studious, but in secondary school students play games, and what kind of student are you? Were you just the book long type, or you had other things? Were you one of the bad boys?
Not bad. Uh, from my background, I couldn't have been bad because my parents will sit you down and talk sense into your mind. We were the type who were, beaten almost every day. If you fool, they will let you know where you belong. But that wasn't enough to churn out a better person. I started learning reading the Bible around age 12. I remember reading, I got a leaflet on Beatitudes. I had to chew
Mm-hmm.
everything, Matthew chapter 5. So somehow the fear of God guided me
Mm-hmm.
in most of the things I did. So in secondary school, I was the quiet, obedient type. I wouldn't
Mm,
want to make friends with people who would influence me to do anything bad.
mm,
I was told by my parents that anything bad, you bring a shame to the family. Those are
mm,
family, we are not rich, but there's never been any bad person, as in a thief or armed robber or anything like that.
mm-hmm,
So remember to represent us. And that's,
mm,
also, served me well in terms of my Christian beliefs, because I
mm-hmm,
knew I was representing God, and
mm-hmm,
that kind of guided me.
mm-hmm,
Naturally, I wasn't an eternal person. I will study up to about 9 o'clock and go
mm.
to bed. And up to now, 9 o'clock, I'm going to bed. I don't stay beyond 9. You will see me
Yeah,
maybe 9:30 thereabout. I'll go to bed. But
yeah.
the daytime, I will do my best. And in school, even up to now, I don't know how to sleep at the daytime.
Mm,
So I'll study at the daytime. 9 o'clock is over for me. I'll go and sleep. Wake up around
mm,
5 a.m.
great. Now I mean, I had similar background of parents. My mother would just, we call her action before complaint. Back, back, back. She would just slap you before he tells you what you did wrong. Now, I mean, push forward these days, we're not, it's not the same culture. Even officially, students are not supposed to be, corporal punishment is not allowed. How do we marry the two in terms of that kind of background that you had, the family influence and so on, and today, the environment? What do you say to parents of today and compared to how you grew up and how your parents brought you up? What can we keep? What can we give?
We lived in a very strict, era where parents would do everything. Well, that was the only way they knew how to correct us. It was harsh. And even in school, I remember class 5, we had a teacher called Apia Kubi, mental. You come in every morning, first thing is mental. And before the answer, if you delay 2 seconds, the cane would be on you. And we grew up, we respected, that was what we had, and we try our best to cope within that space. And I must admit, I beat my firstborn and the secondborn. When I speak and they don't listen, sometimes I try to crack the whip. But I must also confess that my last born, who is 10 years, I've never beaten him. With time, we learn to do things better. And over the years, I have learned to get the same results without a cane. And that has worked for my last born. The first two, I had to beat them. But the last one, I've never. And it's worked for me. Sometimes my wife will say, what are you discussing with him? Because the boy knows that if there is anything, he should come to me. I'll listen to him more. So
Mm,
we won't give you the computer. Mommy will pick the computer, go and hide it. He'll come to me,
mhm,
Daddy, I have this work. Can I have the computer? Oh, wait, I'll discuss with mommy. It's
mm,
worked. You need to
mm.
understand their language. And if you do, you'll be able to get results from them.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you
So
so
be it as it
very,
be, there
very.
must be some way of disciplining our children.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because these days the children, like one of my friends, right before they say God doesn't have time to create new ones, so He's just recycling the old ones. So by before they are born, they have a lot of intelligence beyond
Exactly.
what maybe what we used to do. So your advice to parents around this, to apart from what you do, what would be your advice to parents how to handle this new generation of children?
These days, I think the danger, which, if I have 1 minute, I'll use to talk about is access to tablets and phones. For me, it was a policy, unless you get to university, you can't use a phone. I have a phone at home. If you need to call, use that phone to call. But you can have a personal smartphone where you'll be chatting. When you get to university, I'll buy you a phone. That was the policy
So,
we had.
so the
And it's still,
children of the CEO of miLife will not have a phone.
no, you can't have a phone. There's a tablet you can use. There's a computer you can use. And there's a phone you can dial to call. It's not for you. It's for all of us. But you
Okay.
can't have your own. But once your results come, I'll go and buy your phone that you are taking to the university. I
Yeah.
have two children who have, the firstborn, he is a medical, they are all medical doctors anyway. He is at
Okay.
Akosombo VRA Hospital. And then
Okay.
the second born is at Kolebu, a lady, she is 25, and the firstborn is 26. They are all medical doctors. And this is what I did to them. People were complaining, you need to communicate. Yes, you still could do it without giving them access to secondary school to fool with
Yeah.
it. Because we can lose them through phones. And
Yeah.
lately, a lot of research, a lot of them are coming that raising children with these tablets don't help. Let them be responsible enough because before they start using those things.
Yeah. Great. Thank you
So
so
that
much for
if I
that.
need to give any advice, because we are losing our children to phones.
To phones.
We are learning
Yeah.
a lot of foreign things. Sometimes disgusting.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe your child is doing what he's doing on a phone. Even in
Yeah.
church, you see them congregating on 2, 3 people meeting together and then be watching things. So keep them
Yeah.
from phones, give them
Yeah.
phones at the right time. Let them understand why you want to do that. If they need a phone, give it to them. You sit by them, you supervise what they are doing with the phone. So if he brings a homework and he needs to do, either the mom or myself will be there, we supervise and tell them they know what to do. My boy would only go and play video games, not anything else.
Yeah. I think today a lot of parents, mother is gone, father is gone, and we don't have the time. So we have delegated our parenting to the phone and to the TV and so on. And that's where we are getting a lot of bad results. I mean, we're just talking about LGBT law, and I hear some people advocating strongly that we should allow people to do what they want and so forth. That's not what we are discussing, but what's your take on that before we move on to your professional life?
Well, everybody has a right. You have a right to live your life, but your right shouldn't affect me. Why should I give birth to a nice baby boy, grows up, and then you want to come and take him as your partner? And if we all decide to go that route, who will give birth and where would you get your partners from? I don't
Exactly.
subscribe to that. But I believe that those we have in society, we need to educate them. I don't believe that beating them, jailing them is the answer. Maybe there must be something else we could do. But I don't, I believe in the idea that I was born gay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
We are human beings and we need to, even where you have a strong edge to do what is wrong, you need to control yourself.
Yeah.
If we decide that, even though people do elsewhere in the so-called European world, if we all go on the street picking people's sheep and just sleeping with them, what kind of society are we building?
Yeah. Yeah.
Personally, I don't believe in that, and I don't believe that people are born gay or lesbians. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
If you have a strong edge, control. When we go about on the streets, we see beautiful ladies, but you are married, you control.
Yeah.
You're last, and then stay in your line.
Yeah.
That is what I believe. But I don't believe you should go and kill people because they are doing that.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Now, the man from our man, village boy, move on to Legon, school of admin, became a professional. I see you're a chartered accountant, chartered insurance, tax professional, MBA. You've worked in KPMG, SDC, enterprise insurance, and miLife. I mean, one man. How did you achieve all these things? And can you share, let us a bit into your professional life and how you went through these things? Because it was it easy for you to find a job and just go through it like this? People have been house home for 10 years, so they are looking for jobs. They can't find it. How did it work for you?
I did my service on campus, and by June, we knew July um, was the last month because August was the leave for all national service persons. I had come from Amoma, and when service ends, I have no choice, no option but to go back to the village. And that is not where we look for job. So I remember in those days, we didn't have access to laptops and those things. So you go to somewhere, they type the letter for you, and where we have the address, you do 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 do. I got about 100 of them, and then we'll put HR manager, Unilever, Accra, envelope it, this Ghana Ports and Harbor, and I had about 100 letters, including KPMG, Deloitte, and then PKF, because I really wanted to train as an accountant, and I thought the best place was to go to any of the big four, Ernst and Young, KPMG, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte. That was my target. But of course, I mean, if nobody took me from there, life shouldn't come to a standstill. I needed to work. So I did 100 letters and started distribution. We'll walk, pick a truck, get to the next station. So for about 2 weeks, I was just distributing letters in Accra and Tema. And in all these, I only got one response, first from Deloitte. And that was early, in fact, about 2 weeks after I had distributed. So I went for an interview in 1983 around July. So, July ending. And I remember the partner who interviewed me. So, you are the guys we are looking for. He gave me appointment. So when we started the service, I mean, the leave, 1st August, I was starting my first employment. But I had a lot of friends working at KPMG. I knew people like Kwame Manu Deborah, I mean, and a few others. They were there, and that is where I wanted to go. Fortunately for me, of course, I worked with Deloitte up to the end of the month. And around October there, I got another response from KPMG to attend an
From
interview.
KPMG.
From KPMG. And I said, God is listening to my prayer. I went there, and once again, I was lucky. I was taking at Deloitte. If it's in today's term, I was taking about 83 Ghana cedis. And KPMG offered me 104 cedis. And for me, it was a big money. National service, I started with 45. And
Yes, I remember.
later on, they increased it to 50.
Yes.
So 83 was a jump, and 104 was a jump. I joined KPMG January 1994, and I worked with them for almost 5 years. So when I joined KPMG in 94, I said to myself, to get to the top, I knew the environment. I had met my seniors I was working with, and they respected professional qualification. Your substance over there depends on your ability to write the exams. So I said to myself, it is doable, it's possible. So 1994, I started writing the exam self-tuition, and 97 June I qualified, and I think July I also qualified in taxation. So I go to professions 2 months apart. I was studying the two together. So after qualification and working for about a year or so, I left to join SDC group of company. They were looking for financial controller, and I thought it was another opportunity to give it a shot. So I took that up, and then worked with them. Worked with them for about 3 years, and then move on again. It was another opportunity at Enterprise, so I joined them.
Yeah. 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 Now, it's very interesting because these days a lot of people. So, I mean, Deloitte, did you have anybody, parent, uncle, who took you to Deloitte, KPMG? Because these days I hear the young people say, if you don't know anybody, nobody will take you. And so, did you know people who just showed you the way, or you just walked the street holding your CV in trotro and went out there and looked for the job?
I didn't know anybody. And I remember getting down from Trotro at those days, it used to be Sankara.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were name trees there. I branched to Deloitte and then left my letter with the receptionist.
Mm.
I mean, hopelessly, I went away because
Yeah.
all the 100 letters I sent, and truth be told, I only got responses from three.
Mm.
Apart from the Deloitte one that came, I got responses from three. The two of them we have received. This is to acknowledge receipt of your letter. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't have any vacancy. Should there be any vacancy in future, we would contact you. Two of them, and then the other one was KPMG. I
Mm.
didn't know anybody, but somehow I believe that once there was an interview, I needed to prepare
Mm.
physically, psychologically, because that is one out of 1,000 opportunities. And in
Mm-hmm.
all cases that I went, I mean, I took the chance. Let me say, God was with me.
Mm.
I was successful at Deloitte and later on successful at KPMG.
Mm.
I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
I just went in and based on performance, they took me.
Yeah. 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 There are two things that you said. That I mean, this one and another one where you said you self-tutored yourself to do your professional exams. I just want you to advise. I mean, just what do you say to a lot of young people? They finish. They're giving up. I mean, they're not getting jobs, and some of them who have gotten job, once they have the job, they're staying in and they're just doing enough, and they are just staying there. What will you say to them at this point?
You need to be intentional about your professional career. And I was telling you self-tuition because you are working. KPMG
Mm-hmm.
would only give you maybe a week to the exams to go and prepare and write.
Yeah.
So you are working, you close around 5, sometimes 6, and you go and queue for trotro. Those days, things were not as simple and easy as we have today. You get home around 8, thereabout, you are going to sit by your books and read. So self-tuition, but the 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 idea was, what do people go home to do? People go
Mm.
home and sometimes they watch television.
Mm.
People go home and sometimes today they are on phones chatting.
They are doing
And
TikTok.
they are doing TikTok. So if you stop, my father will tell you, if if you stop whatever you are doing, you have time. So if
Mm.
you prioritize your studies and you stop other things, you would have time for that. After
Mm.
all, I sleep for about 7, 6 hours. If you
Mm-hmm.
take that from 24 hours, you still, if you take 6 from that, you have 18. At
Mm-hmm.
workplace, we're using about 8 hours. If you take
Mm-hmm.
that out, you still have time.
Mm.
So if you want to make time for yourself, you can make time for yourself. I remember I'll
Mm.
just go steady from maybe 7:30 to about 9, go to bed, but 4 a.m. I am back on my books. Weekends, I'll spend time on my books. Young guys must focus on important matters.
Absolutely.
Focus on important. There are many things. Not
Mm-hmm.
basically in life, there are things you have control over.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that are important.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the intersection of the two, you have things that are important and you have control over.
Mm.
Focus on those areas.
Yeah.
You have things that are important, one subset. You have things you have control over, one subset. When you make them, you have an intersection, an area common to both sets. This common area are important things, and you have control over them. Don't worry yourself on things you don't have control over. Worry yourself on things you have control over and that are important. There are important things you don't have control over. Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
And if young men, young women today will focus on that intersection where it is important and they have control over, you have it all. Sometimes just consider sitting for exams, failing, and you need to wait for another year to go and sit again. Look at the time you waste. If you had put in just little effort initially, you would have done it and wouldn't have to go through another year of stress. Focus on what matters in life.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much, very much. But the professional life, the corporate life, I mean, now you are the boss. But when you are in the corporate life, there is a lot of, competition, a lot of issue. How do people survive? I've seen some people who complain that they've stayed in one same position for years and they have no promotion. They're waiting for somebody to promote them. What will you say to people in corporate life? I mean, with your experience, how do you progress within corporate life? What are some of the things that have helped you that you can share with people in corporate life?
Be relevant. That's all. Be relevant. If you are so hardworking and your absence a day causes somebody to ask, where is he? You are relevant.
Absolutely.
If you are relevant, everybody looks for you. If you are not relevant, you are even missing. People don't even realize that you are not, present. They don't. But if you are relevant, all eyes are on you. And remember that in the corporate world, there is what we call succession plan. And at any point, at any layer, there are people who are being groomed to take over, just in case the person resigns or touch wood, he dies. There must be somebody to. If there are 10 people vying for one position, you should be relevant enough to be the number one, to be the preferred. How do you become relevant? Hard work. You must be meticulous. You must be a man of integrity. When everybody is running away, you must be able to stand a tough time. Resilience. Service. Wherever you go, you are there to serve. Service to humanity, service to God. Your employer must benefit from you. If they are paying so much, you must deliver so much to them. Excellence in delivery. You deliver and everybody is, happy. Once you do these things, you distinguish yourself. You set yourself aside. You project yourself for every eye to see you, that if we could get this person to fill this position, you will be loved. That is the only way. Be relevant. And if you are relevant, even sometimes you go, they still come for you.
Wow. Guys, I hope you are learning something. At this point, we're going to take just a quick short break and we will come back. Just last year, Kwaku was adjudged the third national best farmer. It just blows my mind. I mean, he's the CEO of a company, and he's adjudged the best farmer. Let's watch again the award ceremony video, how he was called to receive his award, and then we'll come back and talk. There's a lot we can talk about, but we'll come back and talk about his life as a farmer. And then we'll take some lessons from him in leadership and so on. And then, the time is running against us, but we'll take as much as we can. Let's watch the video.
He is a 58-year-old farmer
with over 30 years of diverse expertise in insurance, accounting, and strategy formulation.
Practicing agriculture for the past 20 years and is married with 3 children. His farming enterprise is named Discoveries Farms, located at Pramposo and Amoma. His farming enterprise has 17 full-time workers and 300 casual workers. As part of his social responsibility to his community, the farm took many initiatives, including provision of input credits to smallholder farmers within the Amoma community enclave, provided an apprentice training platform to train young females in agricultural production in the community. He has won 2 district awards, including the 2011 Best District Farmer and the 2009 Best District Mango Farmer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kwaku Yeboah-Asuamah.
Navigating through life without a coach or a guide can be very deceiving, making you come to think that you have achieved the highest or the best you can ever, or you have made the best of decisions. But until you become very intentional and take a good stock of your life, you would not realize that it's a mistake.
Pain helps you to come out of your comfort zone.
The law of intentionality and the fact that learning is a lifelong journey if you want to be significant. Emphasis on significance.
Previously, I used to be very unintentional about the things I do when it comes to my family, my work, my Christian life, and basically everything that I do.
In the pursuit of that growth, there are gaps. There are gaps that we need to conquer. These gaps include the knowledge, perfection, mistake, inspirational, timing, and assumption gap.
And I will encourage you to be part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey.
I encourage you all out there who need to live their life to be part of CTL Africa's growth journey.
Please take advantage of this program and your life will never be the same.
Thank you very much, CTL Africa, and continue to impact the world. God bless.
Thank you so much, Kofi. We will continue. We invite our guest to. I mean, we saw that video, and I'm just wondering. You're a farmer. You are an accountant. You're a tax person. You're an insurer. You are. I mean, how do you do that? How did you become? Not just a garden behind your house, to the level of a national. Where did it all start?
Well, my journey to becoming a commercial farmer started when I was very young. At age 8, my mom had introduced us to farming. What she did was to give you a small farm, like about a quarter of a plot. I tell you that this year, this is what you are going to use to buy your Christmas shoe and your Christmas dress. So it became a competition. Everybody wanted to keep the farm very clean and healthy, and we did everything. And we only had the opportunity to go to work in the farm on weekends, but we kept the farm very clean. So they would do the harvest and say, you got 3 cedis, you got 2 cedis, 50 pesos, and they will buy shoes for us. But by 12, we have started doing our own farms. We could plan and say, I want to do vegetables, I want to do this. And of course, we were doing it during vacations and also weekends. And throughout my life, in my secondary school, I always had a farm. Those were the monies that, I mean, at the point in time when you are going to school, your dad wouldn't even have anything, but
Exactly.
Always get something. At the university, the same thing continue. But then the commercial farming, we started about some 20 years ago. I mean, the whole process, acquiring land and those things started. And this was when I met a director from South Africa. He's a white, and he told me that in South Africa, by age 40, most people would be at the top of their profession. And when you get to the peak of your profession, you can easily lose your job. So you need to earn an equivalent of what your employers are paying you by age 40. In other words, if you are taking a salary of 2,000, by age 40, your investment in T-bills, bonds, and everything, if you take a monthly return that should come to you, it should be equivalent. In that regard, quality of life doesn't suffer when you lose your job. And that is also a beginning of your journey to prosperity. And this, I was told this when I was around 33 years old.
Wow.
And I said, this is a wise advice. I need to work to get there. So that kind of reinforced, they need to do something different. And I taught the way I was the way I was brought up, my love for farming was a better place to branch into.
Yeah.
I could do that alongside my work, because all I need to do is to every weekend go there. And when I started, I could go to farm, set off Sunday morning around 3 a.m., get to farm around 8:30 in the morning, work up to about 2, 3 p.m., set off that same Sunday, come back to Accra, and by 10, 11, 10, 9:30 to 10, I'm back. Monday, I'm going to work. Every month.
Monday, you are back in the office.
Yes. And I go beyond teaching.
Wow.
Drive at dawn and go and come. And once in a while, I'll take, say, 2 days off my annual leave, add it to the weekend so that I could stay longer if I need to. I'll give the work to them, do this, take this advance. When you are done, call me, I'll come and inspect and pay you. And it was as simple as that. Sometimes I'll do video calls to see what is happening. So the commercial farm started. Initially, it wasn't easy because I didn't have the equipment, but I started adding them one after the other. I'll go for a loan because I could only take a loan in my professional capacity, as a worker, not in the farm, because the farm didn't have enough credibility. And in Ghana, when you are going for loans and you do all the proposals, they will tell you this, that. So, but I could use my salary as a guarantee too. And then I'll go and buy a used tractor, I'll buy this, I'll buy that. Fortunately, today, I have a capacity portrait with about 16,000 layer capacity. I have about 300 acres of mango. I have about 200 acres of cashew. Last year, I did about 370 acres of maize. And I did about 40 acres of watermelon. I have a fish pond. A few other things. And this year, the target is to do about 500 acres of maize.
Yeah, you have mango plantation, you have cashew, you have maize, you have soya, you have poultry, you have
yes, I do all those things.
Vegetables,
last 2 years, for
and
instance,
you even have a warehouse.
I have a warehouse, a big warehouse, 60 meters by 50 meters, and then the height is about 8 meters, and it's complete. And currently, I have a lot of maize in there, waiting for off-takers to pick. They've been picking them in 1,000 bags for the past 3 weeks, and they'll pick the rest in two batches.
Wow. Now, I mean, let's talk a bit about farming in Ghana. And I mean, like you, I grew up in the farm, but I've never gone back since I became a lawyer. And many of us come from the farm. And then once we come to Accra, become a lawyer, an accountant, a banker, insurance. I mean, I think you are one of out of, I don't know, maybe 10,000 who go back to the farm. What will you advise us? What do you think should be done to encourage others? I mean, share your thoughts with us.
It's not everybody who could be a farmer. So, but if you have the interest, or if you're looking for something, not just an adventure, something that would earn you some decent income, especially as you retire from the formal work, or even today, if you are not working and you want to do, it's an area you could consider. The truth is that you need good people to manage it for you. You need to plan your life in such a way that you could have time to be there yourself. And you need to select the right crops to start with. And these, if you go to the ministries, you want advice, you could always get people to advise you. And those of us who have been in the space for some time, we could also advise you.
Yeah.
But let me also advise. In any risky business, and farming is also one of them. Test the temperature of the water. Test the depth of the water before you jump into it. I have a friend who set up a 300,000 bed facility. He did the first year, and that was when the COVID started. There were problems. Maize price everything was going up, and he stopped. Look at the sunk costs, the money, and it wasn't easy to get the money back.
Yeah.
So show interest by doing something small, and as you begin to record success, you increase gradually. Don't go and take a huge loan and sink everything into something you've never ventured into. That could be a fatal error. With farming, I have a number of friends, some lawyers, some bankers who are now coming into that space. And they are very happy. Personally, I get a lot of inspiration from Mr. Boateng, one time a CEO who was the national best farmer some few years ago. If you go to his farm, you could see that this farm is being run professionally.
Yeah.
And what I have realized, in fact, I've been to many farms. I've been to US to just go and visit some farms. I've been to South Africa to visit some farms. Farming is a business, and it must be run as such. You need to have all the governance issues if you really want to be successful. Once you do the right thing, it rewards, and you will never regret.
Nice. Thank you so much. People, let's go back to our land. And when we were talking on the side, you were saying that if you could get 50 people to grow to the level you are now, we probably would not need to import a lot of things.
Rightly so. I said in Ghana, I visited a farm in Texas, in US, and the farm was run by basically two people. The man, the owner of the farm, and the wife, they are now grown, and the two boys, their sons, two of them, they ran the farm. It's about 1,000 hectares, so about 2,500 acres. They have a huge tractor. When they want to plow, they just flip the plow, and it can take more than an acre and go. By the time it ends, about more than 50 acres, and a day they'll do more than about 400-500 acres just plowing.
Wow.
When they are planting, the same. Within a week, they finished. When they are planting, within a week, they finished. Planting within a week, harvesting within a week. These are cowboys. You see them in their big pickups, their hats. They drive their big Tundra and Ford 450. Super Duty. Go to town, chill, and come back. Everything. They have their silo. When they harvest, one is on the combine harvester, one is on the truck. The combine harvester will tip all the grains into the truck. When it's full, the combine harvester will stop. The guy will go drive the truck to the silos and pump the grains into it. Then they continue. Within a week, harvesting is done. So if you have 50 people, each with about 3,000 acres, even 2,000 acres, or 1,000. And this is professionally done. All our grains requirement, and I'm talking about maize and possibly rice. We wouldn't need to import it. We wouldn't need to import it. In fact, we'll have access to send to our neighbors to sell and earn foreign exchange. All we need is for the government to come to the space to help. I went to around Limpopo area in South Africa. You go there, there are about 10, 20 commercial farmers. There's a big dam. They all draw water from that for their farms. You go to places, you see in those days, helicopters. These days, they are using big drones to spray and do everything. So if the government leading in policy direction will come in and facilitate the acquisition of these commercial equipment, I don't see why. Nigeria recently did it. They had enough rice. The brainchild of even somebody from Ghana. If we are really serious and committed to getting farming to work, we can get it done. You go to places where rocky and desert, and they are turning those desert into arable lands and producing so much yield per hectare. Even Saudi Arabia, they are planning to pump water to grow rice on the desert. Why can't we do it? Go to Israel and other places. Why can't we do it here? So we need just 50 people with about 2,000 acres each, with government support, and this country would have enough.
Wow. Well, maybe one of these days we should lobby for you to be Minister for Agriculture.
Well, if that doesn't corrupt me to stop even farming.
Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Any questions, any comments? I just have two things that I want to tease you on. First, on values and principles, and the second is on your leadership lessons that you have all over the period. So first, what are the values that you have lived by, the principles that have guided you that you would like to share with us? And then the second thing is, what are your top leadership lessons that you would like to share with us?
Okay, on the values, my first value, which I don't joke with, is integrity. And you see, there are values. You go to organizations, they tell you these are our values, honesty, this and that. But these are corporate values. Sometimes when they leave the office and go, it changes. They are no longer corporate values. They work in us. So long as he is at the workplace, they live there. But integrity, wherever you are, it goes with you. You are driving, you have a trash, that is nowhere to drop it. It has nothing to, you don't need to be in a corporate environment. Everywhere in your home, everywhere, integrity goes with you. So throughout my life, I try to do what is right. Not because people are watching me, not because people will reprimand me, but I think this is what is right and must be done. Another value that I cherish so much is resilience. And I'm happy COVID came to, reinforce that value. Things are not supposed to go always right. Sometimes things turn upside down, but your ability to rise up after the fall or in difficult moments is what tests your leadership qualities. Your ability to bounce back. I remember in COVID, we had a lockdown, and the work I do, we just get people to the street to sell. And at the time, we had in excess of 500 financial advisors. They go looking for business, and a lockdown, where do you go and get a business? But that year happened to be one of our best. In life, there will be ups and downs. That's your ability to stand up when you fall. Your ability to persevere in difficult times. Not giving up. Not throwing in the towel or throwing up your arms in despair is what makes you a leader. Another principle of value that I want to talk about is service. Service. Many people wouldn't think or use that, but we exist because others are existing. We are because others are. Without human beings, who are you? So whatever we do, whether you are selling insurance, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're an accountant, people, you exist for people. And if you think about people, whatever you are doing, if you know that what you do, you provide service, you are producing food for people to eat. Whatever you do because of people, it guides you. So I wouldn't use a banned substance in my farm. I wouldn't use something that is not supposed because I'm providing services. There's no point to kill people. Service. It gives you, and that is where we derive things like customer service, customer care, customer is a king. Everything boils down to the service you render as an individual. And then excellence. The word of God says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might, with all your heart. Excellence. And every corner you find yourself shine. When you shine, the beauty about light is that people see you. In the darkness, once there is that gleam of light, people will see you. Excellence will let you shine like a light, and people will see you. People will recognize you. For those who are complaining, I've been working for many years, no promotion, the answer is shine. When you shine in the dark corner where they placed you, people will see. Light is so visible, everybody sees it. Anytime they give you a difficult task, see yourself that you have been given a dark corner to go and brighten them. If you shine, people will see you. So on the values, these are, the values that guide me in life. In terms of my style, I'm more democratic, participatory kind of leadership. I chart a vision, bring everybody on board. This is what we need to do. Come on board, and remember, everybody coming on board will ask one thing. They won't tell you in the face, but they will ask, what is in for me? What is in there for me? Everybody, every rational human being, when you call them to come on board, the question is, what is in there for me? Once you bring them on board, have a very good program to reward people. Don't reward them just based on you've hired them. Tie their performance to their reward system to the point that somebody can even earn more than you, the chief executive officer. If you do, they'll produce for you and you take the credit. In an organization, in an environment, a corporate environment, remember, you are wearing about 3 hats. You are representing the shareholders, you are representing the board of directors, and you are representing the workers, staff and management. Each of them has an interest, and you are going to manage, balance the interests of these 3 people. Getting people on board, getting people to buy into your vision is so key. Don't lord it over them. Be visible as a leader. Don't just be a long sleeve leader, be a short sleeve. Go to them, talk to them, invite them to come into you. Have an open door policy, be accessible. Listen to them, let them talk, tell you their problems. If you need to joke with them, jokes with them too. At a point in time, you come to me working with my people and you can't tell who is the boss. When you come and we address, it's almost the same. When we are eating, it's the same. So you are one of them. They understand your language. And they will produce for you.
Wow. This is when we sent out this flyer, somebody who says he's a former, he worked for your company, he sent me this quote. He says, if your food is not medicine, very soon your medicine will become your food. And he says his consistent exhortation and encouragement to intentionally and consciously live a good dietary and healthy life. And he says you used to encourage them. How does that, how is your dietary and life, because you're a farmer and so on? These days there's all issues around obesity and health issues and challenges. Any word on that?
Well, eat well and exercise. Remember, if you take in more than you could burn, you will grow bigger. So you eat what you can burn and use. Any excess will give you a problem. But I exercise, I walk. Every morning I walk. I do that about 5 times a week, at least sometimes 6 times a week. And I walk about 3 kilometers thereabout before I go to work.
Wow.
And I love doing that. Every morning I will walk for health. And when I remember my first party at Deloitte, I remember there was so much to eat, so much to drink, so much meat. I was even scared. I hadn't seen that before. And I said to myself, today I must. I went back home and the whole night I was running. It taught me a lesson that when you cannot buy and it's free, just be modest.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
never since I eat just enough to give me energy for the day. And if there is any excess, enough that my normal working can bear. I don't go beyond that. Everything that is cheap, be wary when you are taking them.
Yeah.
And temperance is so key to me. Avoid every bad thing, but the good things, take them in moderation.
Yeah.
And the Bible talks about temperance. Be temperate.
Yeah.
Temperance is one of the characteristics of good Christians and good leaders.
Yeah.
Abstain from everything that is bad, but everything that is good, take them in moderation.
Yeah.
Eat a lot of vegetables, eat a lot of fruits. There's never been a day in my family that you walk in, you can't get fruit. In the mornings, in the evenings, if you want either banana, and we are intentional about that. We make sure we have food so that the kids will, I mean, the difficulty I've had in raising my children is vegetables. They won't eat when they are young.
Yeah.
So we will blend.
Yeah,
And we,
exactly. Inside the soup.
I remember one my little girl, who is now a medical doctor, was just peeping through the kitchen and went to tell the brother, "Kid, you know what mommy is doing? Mommy is blending the vegetables to put into the stew." We finished the food and said they won't eat. But today, thank God, they love vegetables.
Yeah.
So eat them. If your kids don't like eating vegetables, find a nice way, like I used to do, blend them and put it in there. They need them.
Yeah.
Well, exercise.
Great. There's a lot we can learn from Mr. Yeboah-Asuamah, but the time is just running out on us, and I think 2 minutes, our time will be off. If you are not able to stay, please, thank you so much for coming. We'll just take a few questions. Kwaku Bimpong is saying, thank you for the knowledge you have shared this evening. It says, do you ever come to a point where fear stare at you, and how did you overcome it to progress? You talk about resilience. Have you ever faced fear, and how did you deal with it?
I've had many instances. Let me share one on the farm. About 4 years ago, I put up my farm on YouTube to sell. Then to sell the farm. I was fed up with some practices and some mismanagement going on. So I came back home, sat down, pray over it, and then the usual voice, that you are resilient. You've passed through all these tough times. You've had challenges at the boardroom, you've had challenges with your employers, you've had challenges with management. You've sailed through all this. Why would this thing, scare you? Then I psyched myself up. That was the first year I made some good income from the farm. So yes, we've had tough times, but those are times that you sit back and do some introspection. Sometimes all I do is to start counting my blessings and naming them one by one, just to see how God has been with me over the years. And that will be enough to encourage me to stay on.
Great, thank you so much. And guys, as I said, if it's 9:30, 8:30 and you want to leave, we just take a few questions. Mr. Asuamah will just address some of the questions coming. This is from Nazis from Brazzaville, Congo Brazzaville. What can you say about the power of seeing? Maybe you saw someone doing and realize your potential. Not sure exactly. I think from Brazzaville, maybe French. So he has tried. He's done very well, right? Good English. But the power of seeing, like you're seeing somebody doing something and you can realize the potential in the person. What do you think about that?
I mean, this could be linked to mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we take inspiration from people. And I have a number of farmers I'm nurturing. And they visit my farm and they are happy and they ask questions. Mm-hmm. Some people hear that I'm a farmer and they've never thought of, going into farming. They visit the farm and see what I'm doing. They talk to me about the possibility of coming into that space. So when we see, it helps us to know, assess. If we see, we're able to look at things and try to see if we can go into that space. Seeing is powerful, and if even in normal life you read textbooks and you don't see things in laboratory, they will experiment for you to see. And when you see, you can write notes and compare with what the books are saying. So seeing is a powerful tool. And in whatever space we want to go to, it is better to visit and see what others are doing. I said earlier on that I visited some farms in US. I visited some farms in South Africa so that I see what others are doing. And any of those visits, I come back with a lot of inspirations. There is an annual trade fair for farmers at Berlin, and every year I attend. 3 weeks ago, I was in Berlin from the 4th to 11th of February. You go there, you see farmers and what they display. You take so much encouragement from them. Of course, you could also go there and do business. You get people, exporters. Now, I have even somebody who wants me to plant cowpea, black eye for him, and he's willing to take about 200 metric tons a year. I'm just thinking through whether I should do that. So when you see, it's able to motivate and get you to plan better.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. This is one of your staff. He says it's always a blessing to work with him. He's sociable, has a listening ear to us. He loves us, and we love him so much. His personality is a fuel helping us to achieve greatness. Much love. See you. I wish all leaders will have a message like this. I wish we could, all Ghanaians can say this about all our leaders. Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you for whoever dropped that.
Then Boris Ejari says, yeah, he didn't mention his name. He just have Jedeme movement. So maybe you know the Jedeme movement.
No, not at all.
All right. He says, what are some investments you would advise young ones to venture into? He's talking about farming. So, and Naziz is powerful. Thank you so much. We, Brazil, francophone. Merci beaucoup. Naziz, j'ai vu ça. Okay. So, quick word on possible, apart from farming, any other investment? He's talked about treasury bills and so on briefly. But any other investment you would advise young men to invest in to get their salary equivalent there? Yeah.
For now, the areas that I have been to that I can attest to are those in the market, the treasury bills. I used to do some mutual funds in the past, but because of the domestic exchange, I've moved away from that. But I do a lot of, I used to do a lot of treasury bills. But those were the years I was making sure I invest enough to go into farming. So they were just a stepping stone to my dream business of getting into the farming space. I said in the course of our discussion that it's not everybody who could be a farmer.
Absolutely.
People go into all sort of business and they make money. At the end of the day, it is your interest and what you have seen others do, or if you are innovative, you have ideas, brilliant ideas. And in Ghana, that's what we don't do a lot. You can also come out and be an innovator, bring something altogether new. I remember when sachet water came, within a year or two, almost every corner they were doing sachet water. Think about the problems of society. Wherever there's a problem, there is an opportunity for somebody to make money.
Yeah.
When COVID came, people make a lot of money from people who sell nose masks to people who were doing online business and Zoom and Team and all those people. They made a lot of money. Wherever there are challenges, there are opportunities to make money. Look at your society, see areas that needs improvement, and figure out what you could do differently. And I'm sure you would be an innovator with a very good income stream in future.
Thank you so much. There's so many commendations coming in, powerful, impactful, inspiring, and so many. Thanks, very inspiring, very impactful, very impactful. a lot of people learning a lot from this. Now, before you give us your final parting words, let me bring Sarah. I can see she's writing a lot of notes. Sarah, maybe you have something for Kwaku. There's so many questions I have, but time is not on our side. So, Sarah,
Okay.
let's see if you
Yeah,
have.
I was going to run off because I had a family meeting, but I just want to say a big thank you to Kwaku for sharing his experiences with us. One thing that I wanted to find out from him is the fact that if we are waiting for the government, it will take us a long time. So, at your level with other farmers, what can you do to really start these 50 people that you're looking for if we do join you? What can we do as the 50 people at our level and not wait for the government? The government can join us later on. What will be your response?
Well, we've been in this business and we are still working with or without government. We are working. But what we are thinking about is this, what we call contract farming. So we can decide to have a land of, say, 5,000 acres. We do the land preparation, and regardless of how much you have, even if it is 200 Ghana cedis, you could bring it in. At the end of the day, when we put all the monies together and run them proportionately, somebody will be contributing 1%, somebody will be 0.05%, somebody will be 2%. And if that money we're able to hire an agronomist, hire some few professionals to work for us, they'll be able to put the land into cultivation. If it is maize, after all the expenses, paying them the salaries and everything, we will use the same proportion of investing into the business to share the profit so that something will come to you. And that is the best way to start, especially for those who are new to farming. Somebody manages the risk for you, because you don't have the expertise to do what we'll call professional farming, but we can outsource that to professionals to run that for us. And this is on our table, as I said, in our private chat. And our School of Admin, the year 1992 group, we are considering, there's a subsection of that group, those who are interested in agric and agribusiness. We are thinking about that in future. And I know in Ghana, one also, I know of a company that does that. So if we are able to do that, we'll whip up interest in farming, and in less than no time, we'll be food sufficient as a nation and would have enough foreign exchange coming. I must say that from the conferences I've been attending, there's so much demand, but we can't produce them. We don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
As I said, I just came from Berlin. Even the mango they need, we don't have the capacity to supply. So often we are not able to take advantage of them. Somebody wants so much cowpea, there's no capacity to do that. Not long ago, last year, we got a team of Kenyans talking to us about they need to collaborate because our mango season is different from theirs. So when they are out of season, they would want to come and pick. But even the local three big processing companies, sometimes they go to Burkina, another place to bring in mango. So maybe we can start from contract farming. We come together, we get professionals to manage for us, and then we have our investment in. They manage it, they give us profit by way of dividends, and we carry on with that.
Great. Thank you so much, Sarah. You are muted.
Yeah, my last question. So if someone is interested to start this sort of investment, where does the person contact you? If you can give us contact details, where can they contact you?
Well, now we haven't started. We are still discussing. So it would be premature to expose myself and then people begin to bombard me with.
Yeah. No, they should see me. They should see me.
It's something we are planning to have. It's something we are planning to have. This has come up a couple of times, and we are trying to put a paper together and do all the nitty-gritties so that once you come in, you know that there's enough cover for you in terms of protecting your interest and your investments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Kwaku.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you. Kwaku, it's been an amazing evening. If we continue, there's a lot we can learn from you, but so far we've learned a lot already. It's an amazing story, you know, how God has used you in different ways, brought you, like some of us, from very far into this level, and you are impacting so many lives. We want to thank you. We want to give you the stage to say your last word. If there's anything you wanted to share that we couldn't touch it, or your parting words, this is the time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks so much, Sammy. I have a couple of advices I want to give. The first one is eat well, dress well. If you need to travel for vacation, do. Get yourself the best of accommodation if you need to do. But in all this, think that there will be a rainy day ahead of you. Life is not always rosy. So as you eat, put something down for your future. Begin your dream business from today by putting something down that would aggregate and become something big that you can start something with in future. Number two, any business you want to enter into, do a lot of work, visit people who are into that business, learn from them. When it gets to the point where you want to start, test the temperature of the water, test the depth of the water before you jump in. Don't go and borrow and invest when you haven't gathered the needed expertise and experience. Number three, start life by prioritizing investment over consumption. Most of us, the reason we aren't able to do better is that we start life, and the first thing we do is to either go and build a huge building that we realize that in 3-5 years time we don't even need, or we go and buy a car, very expensive car, and maintaining it becomes very difficult. There are two things we have: investing in something that will give you returns, and investing in something we call, capital consumption. Prioritize investment that will give you a return than investing in capital consumption. Number four, embrace integrity throughout your life. Don't turn back to see if somebody's watching you before you do the right thing. Do the right thing in the dark, do the right thing in your chamber, do the right thing when you're alone, do the right thing when you are with people. Number four, whatever your hand finds to do it with all your heart and with all your might. The opportunity you have today might not be there tomorrow. The energy, the strength you have today might not be there tomorrow. Get the best of your time today, and whatever you're able to get and put down probably may propel you for something better in future, or maybe something you will live on in future. And finally, be modest, be humble, be law-abiding, and above all, have faith in the Lord. These are just the few, takeaway I want to give to our listeners today. Thank you very much. Thanks so much for all those who join us.
Thank you so very much. Those are powerful, powerful, powerful points of advice. Do not look behind to see somebody is watching you before you do the right thing. Please do the right thing. And as leaders, integrity is so important. Kwaku, thank you so much. There's a lot you've taught us today. And we want to thank you for sharing your life with us. I believe that so many people who have listened to your life story, and sometimes we think that, we don't have enough or we need more. We take something from this story and say, hey, maybe I have enough. Now I can start from wherever I am. Even if Mr. Yeboah-Asuamah could move from his village to this level and go and do farming at this level, I should be able to do something. And that is the inspiration we are taking away. Thank you very much. And for everybody who joined the platform this evening, we want to thank you. We've gone over the time a bit today because this is a very, very interesting story we couldn't leave on the table. And so we want to thank all of you who stayed with us to this point. Have a good night. By the way, before I go, we are in March. This is the book that we are going to read in March. So I hope you're all there. Every month we are reading one book. We finished What Got You Here Won't Take You There. We finished Intentional Living in February. And in March, we are reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. So I want to encourage all of you, we'll be reminding you every week to read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And at the end of the month, I will come around and share the summary and my takeaways for you. Please check our social media pages also and register for the Growth Journey. Remember, Live to Lead is on the early bird. 20% off the ticket is available for you. So go ahead and register for Live to Lead. And on that note, I want to thank all of you for coming. Tomorrow is Sunday. Find room to go to church and worship the Lord the way that He wants. And do good, have integrity, have a good night. Bye-bye.
Navigating through life without a coach or a guide can be very deceiving, making you come to think that you have achieved the highest or the best you can ever, or you have made the best of decisions. But until you become very intentional and take a good stock of your life, you would not realize that it's a mistake.
Pain helps you to come out of your comfort zone.
The law of intentionality and the fact that learning is a lifelong journey if you want to be significant. Emphasis on significance.
Previously, I used to be very unintentional about the things I do when it comes to my family, my work, my Christian life, and basically everything that I do.
In the pursuit of that growth, there are gaps. There are gaps that we need to conquer. These gaps include the knowledge, perfection, mistake, inspirational, timing, and assumption gap.
And I will encourage you to be part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey.
I encourage you all out there who need to live their life to be part of CTL Africa's growth journey.
Please take advantage of this program and your life will never be the same.
Thank you very much, CTL Africa, and continue to impact the world. God bless.